Valleyfair is located in Shakopee, Minnesota, and serves the Minneapolis metropolitan area. This park has a pretty decent coaster lineup for not having received a new coaster in 14 years. Yes, it's been 14 years since their last roller coaster edition. The park is way overdue for a new coaster. This would bring the question, what is Valleyfair's next coaster? In this video, I'm going to answer that question. So to come to my conclusion, I looked at a couple different things ranging from park manufacturer relations, coaster models needed, space and location, and statistics. The video will be broken down into mini sections based on this. So first off, let's look at some manufacturers that Cedar Fair, the parent company of Valleyfair, has worked with in the past. The most obvious is B&M. They've also worked with Great Coasters International, Mack Rides, Gerstlauer, and S&S. Out of these manufacturers, GCI can be eliminated because Valleyfair already has Renegade, the newest of their coaster collection. Cedar Fair's relationship with S&S is unclear as well, because they've only worked on one project together. That's the free spin going to King's Dominion, which isn't even open yet. Due to that uncertainty, I got rid of them as well. So that leaves three: B&M, Mack Rides, and Gerstlauer. To separate these manufacturers in this group, I looked at the models they offer versus what the park has and needs. B&M has a wide range of models that could work for this park. The only one that I don't see is a Hyper, since they already have Wild Thing. I'm also going to rule out a Giga Coaster since they're very expensive and we haven't seen major investments into this park in a pretty long time. I don't see Cedar Fair blowing $30 million on a coaster for Valleyfair. That being said, the park lacks a big looping coaster and a launch coaster. B&M could take care of the looper, but not really the launch coaster. So let's keep their inverts and floorless models in mind. Moving on, Gerstlauer has a little bit more of a limited catalog. Their main coasters are the Infinity models and Eurofighters. And after the success of Hangtime at Knott's, maybe Cedar Fair chooses to go with them again. Hangtime in specific is an Infinity coaster, so we can keep this model in mind. Finally, there's Mack Rides. They feature a really diverse portfolio of attractions. For the scenario I'm looking at, their multi-launch coasters would get the job done. They invert quite a bit and will give the park a launch coaster. Now here's where I started to use some past trends. Cedar Fair has a tendency to buy new models for the chain in pairs of two. This can be seen with the Intamin hydraulic launch coasters, Accelerator and Top Thrill Dragster, the Intamin Gigas, Millennium Force and I-305, and a more recent pair, Gold Rusher and Mystic Timbers. On that basis, I eliminated Mack Rides. This will take a bit of explaining and predicting. Carowinds was the subject of a great multi-launch coaster by Mack Rides in 2019. That was of course Copperhead Strike. This was a first for the chain, so if there's a second, where would it go? Just off the top of my head, I'm gonna go with Kings Island. Without going into too much detail, Kings Island lacks a good multi-launch and there has been some rumors about one making its way here. In the end, this would eliminate Mack Rides and their multi-launch from the running. Alright, I'm gonna quickly dabble into space and location now and move back to Gerstlauer. Infinity coasters are generally compact. I mean, just look at Hangtime. It fits where a Boomerang used to be. For Valleyfair, the plot of land I was thinking their next coaster would fit on is the Dinosaurs Alive area. If you don't know, there's a lot of land here. Since the Infinity coaster is more compact, I'm gonna give this coaster a no. So who does that leave? Good old B&M. I mentioned earlier that they offer a couple different models in the looping category. Of course, they're inverts and floorless coasters. Could we maybe see a surf coaster make its way here? They are said to be B&M's take on the multi-launch coaster, which could be a good fit for this park. However, I'm gonna say no to that. There's just too many unknowns. However, if it does happen, then you know that I did bring it up. So for my final bit of deciding which model, I'm gonna take a step into the past. Valleyfair has been rumored to get an inverted coaster for many years, a similar situation to California's Great America and their Hyper coaster. And being honest, an invert would tremendously help this park's lineup and could be a world-class ride. Based on everything I just discussed, it makes the most sense for Valleyfair to get a B&M invert. As for the plot of land, and I already mentioned this, I think the old Dinosaurs Alive area is a great space for this. This is a huge piece of real estate that could feature a sprawling inverted coaster. The station and lift could be close to the entrance of the park, and a lot of the layout can take place next to the wooden coaster High Roller. I think this coaster could be in the size range of Montu at Busch Gardens Tampa to Banshee at Kings Island. This would also mean the price tag would be less than or just around $25 million. This is plenty of money to create a masterpiece. Sadly, spending this much money could also be a good justification for the park's long delay of new coasters. It could also mean that we will see another big break in between major investments for Valleyfair. as for time, we can definitely rule out 2022, and I'm probably going to rule out 2023 as well. So I think the earliest you could see it is 2024. And before I end the video, let's talk about some statistics. I'm guesstimating a height of around 160 feet. That's just a tad taller than Montu. It will also feature at least 7 inversions. Originally, I figured they could put a mid-course brake run going over the actual brakes to lead into the second half of the ride. This would be located right in between the high roller turnaround and the edge of the park. The layout would then continue in the rest of the Dinosaurs Alive area. However, these newer inverts don't feature any mid-course brake run. Instead, they could possibly put a fun element here like a tunnel. Finally, the track length will be under or just around 4,000 feet. With statistics like that, this invert could be a great addition, not only to the park, but to the world. It would definitely add to the reputation and coaster lineup of Valleyfair, and probably bring in a lot of new people from all over the place too. So that's going to do it for why it makes sense for Valleyfair to get a B&M invert. What do you think of my predictions? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.